inside another dimension, face battling barbarians and evil magic on a quest for adventure in a maze of monsters. Once you get into it, you'll never be the same. Hero Quest. Now, with 2 new adventure packs, the legend grows.
Hi, welcome back to Not Your Mother's Hobbies. And today we're looking at another of the boss miniatures from Jungles of Delthrak, the latest expansion for Hero Quest. We have the Blightcrawler here for our number 2 big baddie included in this set. As far as spider miniatures go, it's a pretty unique look with that fleshy mouth and bright colors, so let's get to it. So we're going to start off with the back and butt. He has back of the head and the butt of this guy. And we're using this Dark Angels Green. I'm not a fan of this paint's consistency, so buyer beware. But we're going to use this and go all around as best as we can, touching up any areas that have spotting, etc. And you can see I am not really caring much about the coverage. It's much easier the way that we're going to do this carapace to just not really care about those eyeballs or those pustules or whatever have you, and to just go around here. And when you get to the tendrils on the front of the head, don't go all the way up those mouth bits, kind of just touch a little bit there. You can see in this section here. And we're going to use Calibite Green, and we're going to dry brush, but it's going to be more of a wet, heavy dry brush, more of a stippling action. You can see I'm stabbing the brush in here, and we're just going to build up layer after layer thinly some of this green till we get a more mottled, consistent color. And then once you have that, we're going to do Warpstone Glow in the exact same way, sticking now to maybe 2/3 to 50% of the upper region of those big butt and head areas. And then follow that up with Moot Green. Again, we're just doing a stabbing, stippling kind of technique. We're going to build up that green color just the same in the topmost areas of those carapace. We're going to touch up everything with Wraithbone, any overspray or over dry brush, and any places that you made a mistake with that Dark Angels Green. Just go in and touch it up and recover those areas, such as the eyes and the little pustules on the bottom of this spider guy. We're also going to blend in those mouth pincers with a little bit of dry brushing as well. And remember, this might take a couple coats because that Dark Angels Green, the green we built up, is pretty dark. So don't be afraid to do a couple thin coats over top to really build up that base again. Now with that out of the way, we're going to do our legs, and we're going in with Gryph-hound Orange. I went for an orangey color. You could go for a red color. It's a little hard to tell in the artwork because the card is quite yellow overall with that yellow background and such. So you just go around those big appendages, and when you get to the claw bits, just go a little bit over and into that mandible kind of claw area. Not too much, but just a little bit, because we're going to blend that in later. Here you go. You can see we're coming back with Wraithbone and doing just that. We are blending in that area that we went over, and this might take a couple coats of blending with the dry brush or with a paintbrush as well, some thin coats. Just building it all up until you have a smooth transition. Then when that's all done, we're going to use a Yandin Yellow to tint all of those claw parts. And you can see even my dry brush went over that orange a little bit as well. And that's okay because we're just going to tint it all with that Yandin Yellow. And if you get a little bit more of that contrast paint in there for the crunchy detailed bits like those lower legs, you can really build it up into the crevices and get that contrast going. We're also going to do the back pustules, but not the eyes in this color. And don't forget those front mandibles, that mouth area as well. Just go all around there and get that yellowed up. All right, with that out of the way, it's time for everything else. We're going to start off with Black Templar for our eyeballs and get those painted in. I'm using black here, but you can use anything else if you want to give them red eyes or anything. I thought black was kind of cold and arachnid. We're going to use Guilliman flesh for the mouth, and you can just go over all the teeth and the claw bits, the talons or whatever those big mouth grabber bits are. You can go up on those as well, and you can see I'm building up a little bit of that Guilliman flesh up the mandibles on the inside as well. We're going to use Volupus pink while it's still wet to get a nice blend of more deeper pink in there, and you can also bring that up into the front of those mandibles as well. We're going over it with Wraithbone once more to build up a little bit of a rounded shape on these big pustules on the back. You could paint them like gems if you want and start putting in a round shape to that highlight, and that's kind of what I do. While not gemmy in terms of placement, that's kind of what I'm thinking of in my head, is painting in the roundness of those pustules. And then of course we just do our mandibles and teeth like we normally do, just building up that bright area with some jagged swipes and strikes to give some texture to those talons. We're also going to dry brush a little bit of this on the tips of those claws to just add some more texture and variety into the model. Cadian flesh tone now, we're going to use this to build up some more of that fleshy inner mouth area and those fleshy areas of the inner mandibles. And when that's done, we're going to go with Kislev flesh to add another juicy, fleshy highlight to all that inner mouth action. Lastly, we're going to come in with bold titanium white just to brighten up the tips of those big face claws, the teeth, some dry brushing on the tips of those forearm claws as well, just to brighten everything up and really make them pop out. And on these pustules on the back, we're going to add some just topmost big fat dots to really make them look like they're kind of shiny. And the eyes, we're taking that inspiration from gemstones, and we're going to do a big shiny spot on the front and a smaller to the rear. Then we base it like normal with our gray paint, texture paint, dry brush, wash, and a dry brush. And with that, our Blightcrawler is done. You can see I did put a little bit of extra dry brushing just on the corners, I guess the knees of those legs, just to add a little bit more in there. My zenithal this time was a little darker than I would like, so keep that in mind. If you want a brighter spider, make sure your zenithal or your undercoat is much brighter than I had. You can do that either with painting in those highlights or just making sure your undercoat is more consistent than mine. But overall, I like this bright, saturated look we got going on. The green, I think, really popped out and came out really nice. I like that transition of white on those front claws to make them stand out. Overall, a really fun spider to paint and much more different. And yeah, just fun to paint than normal spider from fantasy miniatures in general. As always, thanks for watching. Special thanks to my patron supporters. You guys have been so great tagging along. Let me know what you think of the Blightcrawler in the comments down below. If you enjoyed what you saw, consider liking and subscribing. That was another quick and simple miniature out of the way, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!